Tech meetup. So we started, like, we launched properly into this place last year, July. I think it was July or August. And when we came in, we met a couple of things on ground, and we realized that normally what used to be there was just everybody come for certification, come and write, and I knew all of the eats that many people had. We do not do this one, you know, everybody was like, no, must graduate, you must do this and all of that. So we felt as a team that one of the things we wanted to bring into the system was to see how we could make everybody have a feel of tech, understand the essence of tech, and see how to drive it across every of the careers that you guys are pursuing. Also, we wanted that interest for people to become aware of the different relevant aspects of tech in the things you're doing and how we could actually transform your work. Because today, most of what we have is people who just want to say, I'm a lawyer. And when you're a lawyer, you are not thinking and knowing that even the law career is already being disrupted. Over time, some people don't necessarily need to contact you to get key legal information. You know, in the past, what the lawyers used to use is that, oh, people are ignorant of this. But today, how are you going to cope now that AI has almost all the information loaded? So what's going to be your role inside of it? That was how we wanted to bring Tech Meetup, so that you understand how this was going to help build you. Like those in the medical field, I can see some of my people. I know Charles will remember in one of the classes that we used to really tell them that, you know, even as you are doing all your medical everything, tech is there. You have to really understand how computing is driving it. So we wanted to create that kind of interaction, that kind of engagement, in order to heighten your knowledge and prepare you very strongly for the career you are into. So 2 weeks ago, we started with Faculty of Humanities, and it was very amazing. We had a speaker from the US who spoke very intentionally around opportunities and digital humanities and all of that. So it's something that I believe that the more we get to do them, the more we'll be able to solve it. It will have been our delight that your other friends, that's everybody in your faculty, is here. But of course, look at the back, look at the front, look at the left. People are not looking, no, look at the left, look at the right. How many people can this contain? So we had to write to the faculties to nominate people and get them, like, those they believe are their very good students that will represent them well. So as you are here now, you are representing your faculty. If you disappoint your faculty, we'll report you to your faculty and say the people you nominated and the people you brought to us, they did not represent you well. So you are here to represent your faculty, and for you to know that out of all the students in your faculty, you are the one that is being nominated. So I think you should appreciate and clap for yourself. All right. So you are specially nominated to be like a delegate for your faculty. So please, guys, ensure that you get the best out of it. The guy that will be coming to speak is my very, very, very good and close friend. So we've been friends for 2016 till now. Is how many years now? Yeah, we're friends for about 10 years. And it was through this guy, you know, he actually had his first degree in Babcock and came for masters at FUNAB, and that's where we connected and met. And since then, after masters, this guy was the one that actually linked me to my first job, job in the industry. He actually linked me up to it. You know, he was working as the urban programs manager in the organization. I came in there as a research and content manager, and we've been friends together. We worked on very amazing projects. He moved on from there into working with Kibo School, and now he works with 3MTT. Very, very, very deep guys. And I want you guys to really get the best out of it and ensure that you build. And why am I bringing that story on board? I know some of you, maybe you're in 400 level, maybe you're in 200, 300, or whatsoever level you are in. Everybody you meet on campus is important. You never know the next person that will speak for you, that is going to elevate you to the opportunity you are praying and praying and fasting for. Just maybe one person, meeting the right person. And also make sure you use this opportunity to also connect. All right. Make sure you link up to people. You don't know, what people have, and where they are linked up to. So I wish you guys all the best and anticipate that you're going to get the best from this. Thank you very much, and God bless you.
Thank you very much, sir. All right, so before we proceed with every other thing, we are waiting for our guest speaker to join the meeting so that we can start fully. All right. All right. Okay, he has joined. He's on the call already. All right, so to the moment we have all been waiting for, we would like to introduce our guest speaker now. And to do that, we are going to invite Miss Elizabeth to come read the bio of our guest speaker, Mr. Oluwaseun.
Okay, good morning, everybody. Good morning, sir. It's my honor to introduce the guest speaker today, Mr. Oluwaseun Hamzat. He is a technology and strategy consultant focused on building programs, products, and partnerships that unlocks digital opportunities for young Africans. He leads program operations and delivery for 3MTT, the world's largest tech accelerator, an initiative of the federal government of Nigeria aimed at training 3 million technical talents. He also serves as a program director at Secretary City Tech, a platform that spotlights and supports innovation in emerging class. With over a decade of experience, Mr. Oluwaseun has worked with organizations such as Kibo School, Data Science of Africa in Nigeria, AI Commons, and GLZ to drive impact across Africa's tech startup ecosystem. Can we please all put our hands together for Mr. Oluwaseun Hamzat? You are very welcome, sir. You please have the floor.
Thank you very much for the introduction. Can you guys see my screen? Hello. Good morning, everyone. Just wanted to confirm. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Abiodun Mustafa. Thank you so much for the introduction. Super excited to be here. Thanks again for the introduction as well. Apologies. I'm actually, I had to push some meetings to be able to attend this, so I'll try to be as snappy. I would have loved to actually spend some time to actually, walk through some demos and talk through some of those things as deep as I can. But again, just apologies if I'm moving too fast. I will try to create more time for questions so that if there are some things you want me to emphasize, I can go back and emphasize them. Right. But super excited to be here again. Thank you so much for the invitation. Your the topic for me is really important. It's really interesting and really important. I spent the bulk of my time thinking about this. In fact, I organized a masterclass for my team just last week. By the way, there's a little bit of echo coming in from, and it's like it's affecting me. I think can we mute our mics so that you can then unmute it later when it's time to ask questions, because I'm hearing my audio back. It's kind of a little bit disorientating. So if you could help us mute, that would be great. Okay, thank you so much. I'm talking about AI as your career good co-pilot. It's going to be an interesting conversation. Try and make it as engaging as much as time could permit me. But I was just talking about the fact that I spent, I lead a team of about, from my 9 to 5, I did a team of about 50 people. And we had this big conversation about how to use AI and automation, to really deepen the work that we do and make it and improve the quality of the work that we do. And it was just quite interesting, especially as well regarding the feedback that we're getting from people. So I'm really excited to talk more about it today. I'm going to be sharing some insights from what I'm noticing from my personal experience and also my work, and also try to extrapolate some of those insights as well into applicable, truths that you can also use in your different areas, right? So before I go into that, quickly, my name is Oluwaseun Hamzat, and depending on the settings I use to introduce myself, differently, I've had an interesting career across data science, programs management, product management, and now I'm leading, leading the operations and delivery of a tech talent as well. But one key phrase that I find that actually summarizes everything that I do is that I build programs, communities, and products that just create opportunities for young Africans in the digital economy. This is a quick snapshot of what my career currently look like since I started. So I had my undergrad in computer technology from Babcock University. Then afterwards, I had my master's in finance, and that's where I got to meet Dr. Most of them have become great friends. We worked together at Lead Resources together, and that's one of the first steps there, getting like really great international exposure in terms of the work. We got to work for the German Development Corporation, became consultants to them. We helped build some of their learning platforms they are still using till date. So it's been an interesting experience. From there, I got to work as a data scientist slash business manager for the largest AI learning and delivery network on the continent. That's Data Science Nigeria. I joined when there was just a team of about 7, and right now they are more than a team of 50, and they've expanded to 3 other countries as well. And from there, I got a big opportunity as well to work in AI Commons. AI Commons is one of the largest AI nonprofits in the world, and that was the very first time I got to lead multi national projects. I remember I led a project across 3 countries. That was Nigeria, Ghana, and I think Tanzania. Was a really interesting project. And then I got to work at Kibo. I got to work directly with one of the brains In fact, one of the lead behind Google Classroom. I don't know if you ever used those two Google Classroom. So she was really really passionate about getting Africans, especially Black people into global conversations and global development. She said she worked at Google and she didn't really see a lot of Black faces that look like her, in those kind of top places. And so she made a mandate to try to change that. So she started a technical university, just focused on tech. And I was extremely fortunate to be one of the people she tapped in, to help her build that out. And it was really one of the most transformative experiences I've had in my career so far. And then from there, I got to work with the global AI program, situated in Canada. I think we now moved their headquarters now to New York. So I got to work briefly for them, and now I currently lead the program operations and delivery of 3MPT, which is like the largest tech talent solution. And I'm saying all of this to allow you to understand that I've really, really focused on education and capacity development and creating opportunities for young people all my career, right? I also run on the side, a company called iFamous Consulting, and secondly City Tech as well. So quite actually like exclusively have my hands full. But I'm really excited. I feel like it's an opportunity of a lifetime to be able to work on projects and programs that can actually shape not just the nation but also like an entire generation. So I feel extremely privileged in my career so far to be able to work on some of these serious problems. So the question today, or the topic majorly today, I read from my colleague told me that the call today is for legal and medical professionals. So I kind of tailored a little bit of my presentation towards that angle. So apologies if we then later realize that it's not maybe there are more people that are not in the legal, but again, that's the information I got, that's why I can tailor this a little bit. But even if you're not in the legal, field or in the medical sciences, I think that you still find this extremely useful. So the question is, and I know that's the big question is everywhere now, will AI replace you or will you fly with it? And the next couple of, I plan to actually do 45 minutes, I can't do 45 minutes anymore. I think I'll probably do about 25 minutes or 30 of them out, and then take questions. The question is like, the conversation about AI is a really, really important conversation. And it matters to you, and it matters to you right now. But many people always, when I talk about AI, many people think that it's something that will happen in the future, something that I don't need to bother my mind about. I just have to pass my exams. I'll think about it later. It's like, no, you can't afford to think about it later. You need to think about it right now, and you need to think about it like today and do the plan your entire career based on it, or else by the time you graduate, you realize that you're already miles behind. By the way, I always tell Nigerian graduates are almost like 3, 4, 5 years behind even when they graduate, because you realize, and one way to be able to fulfill what I just said is that almost every field right now, when you graduate, when you're going into the industry directly, they don't basically take you in as you are. You think that the school should have prepared you. Most of all of this industries or companies always have 1 year, graduate training program, which is, we don't trust you that you are up to standard yet, and then they now say you need to go to school again now for 1 more year. And for me, that's like almost showing you that the schools, although they are doing the best, they just don't catch up with the industry, and they're not catching up with companies. So now companies now have decided that they cannot just trust the product that is coming out of schools. They have by themselves, they have to again, retrain them and get them, ready for their work. So that shows you already, the gap is already left in that space that needs to be closed. And now with AI, I feel like the gap is further, widened. And the reason I'm saying all of this again, I have some stats again for you already with AI. You're about to graduate into the most disrupted job market since 1900s. And it's so clear that you need to be aware of this. By 2027, 23% of all jobs are expected to completely change. 44% of workers' core skill will be disrupted in the next 5 years. And I'm not just quoting, these are World Economic Forum stuff. And this was even released in 2023 when AI has not like completely accelerated to the way it is right now. right? And Africa's AI economy in itself, just not even talking about the global world, will grow into like about 1.5 trillion in GDP. I was talking to an interesting African company last week, and I was just shocked at what we are also doing out of Africa. It's called Dallas Studios. You can check them out. They're owned by Gebeya, and it was just really impressive to see Africans as well really building platforms that you can use to build interesting stuff right from the shores of the continent. So it's really, really beautiful to see. So like we are entering into those domains where things are drastically changing. The technical half life used to be about 15 to 20 years. I say if I learn medicine right from school, the like that skill I've built, from medical school, for example, will last me about 15 years. And I don't really necessarily need to go to go and take any other further lesson. For about 15 years, I'm still fine. Right now, it's not like that. Like if you don't with skill and we get more knowledge in 2 to 3 years, you're already obsolete. It's crazy. We've never experienced before. For law students, AI is now drafting contracts. It's now summarizing precedents. It's now predicting case outcomes, right? For medical students, AI is now reading X-rays. It's drafting patient notes. It's triaging symptoms, and it's even doing that faster than humans, right? And AI is not just replacing careers. People who use AI are the ones who are actually replacing the people who are not evolving as fast. But I want to put AI in context so that you understand what we're talking about. Every leap in human history, from the evolution of humanity, check the way we evolved, technology and tools have always, been behind how our work has evolved, the level of work. It started with fire and stone, right? And that's about 1.5 million years before Christ. So that's when we started cooking. You'd be surprised that the first set of human beings were eating things raw, but then discovered fire and then stone. Things started to change, started to started to cook our meals, right? Interestingly enough, there's still some part of the world where people eat, they don't cook their food, which is very interesting. But again, we then got into the level of into the age of agriculture. We started to plow, started to do irrigation, started to build cities, started to write, and things began to come to life. Started having printing press. That's when we could now begin to transfer knowledge from one generation to the other. Because like everything was just about word of mouth. If you didn't hear it, then you lost it. But now we can put things in writing. That was in the 1440s when printing press came along. And then the industrial revolution completely changed everything. Instead of having, steam engines, we are talking about
I can't say for sure.
husbandry and transportations anymore, you see. So people used to, price horses and everything, and now they're using vehicles. Changing. Now you don't need all of a sudden you no longer needed horse riders anymore, you no needed chariot riders anymore. Everybody started getting to dress. That industry completely was disrupted, right? And then now we entered into the age of internet, where there's information at the speed of light everywhere. So what that started allowing for us, was we started to do remote work, and now we've entered into the age of generative AI. Each tool or tech, I don't like to call them tool, I call them technology. Technology didn't replace people; it will define what people did. And I believe strongly, with all of the evidence that we are seeing, AI is the next one. AI is not just one thing like that. It's going to revolutionize just the way fire and stone change everything, printing press changed everything, electricity and energy changed everything, internet changed everything. I feel like AI is about to change everything, right? And you need to understand how that's going to happen. I talked about, fire and stones, started having tribes and barter system. In the agricultural revolution, started having cities, started having laws, bureaucracies. In the printing press, started having newspapers, universities, right? You're surprised that we didn't have universities until, around the time the printing press started. And then also like the industrial revolution, having big corporations bank global trades. And then we had the engines, electricity and engines, having multinationals. But as a country, like business would go beyond their borders because now we have electricity and engines. And now internet completely changed the world. By the way, I have not worked in sometimes it's really shocking when I tell people this. for the past 5 years, I've not worked. Like right now, I'm taking this meeting. That's why I'm in my t-shirt. I'm taking this meeting from the comfort of my house. Right, I've not worked in a night like an office per se. I have a co-working space and I have an office that I have for my people, but it's my own. It's not my office paying for it. I've been working from home for the past 4 to 5 years now, and it's very shocking. I tell people that I work at my own place and I work from home, and that's made possible because of the internet, right? Geography doesn't matter anymore. You can be a global citizen, without actually stepping from your home. I remember I was presenting at one of the largest conferences for AI right from my room, right? That was about 3 years ago, right? And I was extremely shocked because I was in my room, and then all these researchers and scientists were there listening to me. And by the way, I live in Abeokuta, so just imagine one small boy, one young man from a corner of the world in Abeokuta talking and addressing people, in San Francisco and all of that. But all that was now made possible because of AI and because of internet, and we are able to ship. And I believe that AI is going to change that. Now we're going to see AI first companies. I saw a shocking. By the way, you guys need to stay on top of this because it's going to drastically, our generation is going to be completely changed, right? Especially the Gen Zs and the Gen Alphas that are coming. AI first, companies like China released a funding now for one founder AI startups. What does that mean? It's like if you run a company, you start a company and you don't have any employees and everything that you do, you just do AI, we're going to fund you. We're not fund you to do, we're going to give you, a co-working space, we're going to give you all of the funding that you need. But we don't want you to have too many. We want you to push the boundaries of AI in terms of actually generating profit, and creating value for people. Right? And they are doing that in Nigeria right now. And they are doing that in China right now. And even Nigeria, you might say, hey, this is different. Nigeria now has what we call the Nigerian AI strategy, right? We now even have the Nigerian Council of AI Researchers. So we have interesting things coming up, even in your country. So you need to really sit up, right? So yeah, we're going to have AI first country having new roles. And our competitive work is now having a co-pilot. And I'm going to talk more about that because it's a very interesting concept. So why do I believe that this revolution is different? I believe that this revolution is different because all of these past technologies, I've mentioned them, the fire, the steam engines, the printing press, all of those things, they were built for one particular task, right? They required years of training. You'll be surprised that, that they used to print, like people used to go to typewriting schools to go learn how to typewrite, right? And to go learn shorthand, to go learn all of these interesting things. We also all of those things also, like, they replace muscle. When I say replace muscle, they replace work that you have to do with your stress. So things started to, we could do things a lot easily and a lot faster. But they didn't really replace judgment because you have to still be in a loop to include judgment. Things started slowly diffused. It took decades for these inventions to get masses. I remember when reading documentary about how the car started, many people were very, very skeptical about automobile innovation. Like, yeah, these cars, how we be driving something that is an animal, people before they adopted it took a while, right? Even the same thing with planes. Before people started getting comfortable with it, they just like, something just be flying. Like, what if what if something happens? You just fall. You must have, it took a while before people trusted it. But this we got into this generation, and AI has been the most quickly adopted technology in the entire history of human evolution, right? Number one, AI is completely general purpose. It's not completely developed for just one thing. It basically can do multiple things at the same time. It can write, it can reason, it can code, it can analyze, it can design, right? And you don't need any sort of crazy skill in it, right? You can drive just using plain English, no degree necessarily required to start. Some of us have degree. My master's is in, mathematics and this AI for biology. I had to go to school for all of these things. But right now, you don't need to go to school for it, right? It documents judgment and not just labels. It's not just that it helps you to do things a lot faster or easier. It also helps you to make decisions. There's something we call decision fatigue. For example, for me now, sitting on top of a team, and that's even a small team by the way, by the global world standard, but this is like the largest team I've ever had to lead at once. Imagine leading 50 human beings, and a lot of them are reaching out to you and say, hey, I want to make this, can I do this? Can I do this? Can you review this? Can you imagine how much, I might be working from home that sometimes I'm extremely stressed because of what you call decision fatigue. You have to make multiple decisions, review a lot of things at the same time. Now, AI can step into that loop and let me do a lot of things faster. So right now, I'm one of the like, and people say, "Oh, there's AI," and it's a real concern, by the way. But honestly, the way I'm living my life, I feel like I'm living my life on the edge, and it's a little bit dangerous. AI has access to everything in my life. My AI has access to every single file on my system. I gave it complete access, by the way. I downloaded Cowork, it has complete access to my entire drive. It has access to my everything that I have on cloud. So like go to a state where I can create a digital clone of myself, and you probably will not know because AI has access to the way I work, the way I think, and almost all my important information. But I'm not encouraging you to do that. I'm just saying that for the level of work that I do, I need almost like a version of me, like another Hamzat Oluwaseun that can basically do the work that I do, whether I'm there or not. But I'm setting systems like that allows me to do. That's how at least I can think of managing 50 people and getting the work done. 50 people over 6 teams. It's crazy, right? So that is just crazy number of work. So that's why for me it augments my decision, not just the labor, and also like a lot of people can also use it. Anyway, just let me go through this. I'm keeping focus on the time. So AI is not just coming, AI is already here. I have some statistics that goes ahead to prove that 75% of global wealth already use AI at work. Developers are already using AI. Organizations are already using AI. You can get 5 times as productive using AI, and then say skilled workers who know how to use AI, kind of have like a 25% increase in terms of their income, right? So you can see all of that. And AI basically, so with ChatGPT, was the fastest as adopted consumer product in history ever. About 100 million users in 2 months. It has never happened, in the world, right? And in 2 months, they got about 100 million. I remember also Manus AI also released, a report to were the first company in the world that got to a revenue of over, I think $500 million in ever, like ever. They were the first company that actually reached that number in terms of revenue. And why were they able to do that? Because basically they're an AI, system and AI model. So these are the key things that you need to begin to take. AI is coming, it's taking everything. Adoption is climbing, so is the salary gap as well. And I want you to know this, right? So a doctor that knows how to use AI, knows how to work with AI, is more valuable than just a normal traditional doctor. And I'm not even saying, see the way I'm even calling traditional doctor. That looks like I'm talking about herbalist. I'm not talking about herbalist. I'm just talking about doctors who do not have, the skill or the knowledge and the competencies in AI, right? Um, the AI literacy is among the top 3 fastest growing skills employers want. And this is what they're calling for 2025. So you're seeing that already. Jobs disappearing versus new jobs created. There's this argument right now about AI is taking all the jobs, but it's also creating a lot of jobs, right? So we are seeing that, it's like I've been making a case for it at this, we are seeing that change in the level of work. So yeah, I just wanted again to share. Again, I don't know why I feel the need to convince you because sometimes people don't take this thing serious. You actually they feel like you're talking futuristic. I'm like, I'm not talking futuristic. I can show you my assuming I had more time, probably show you my system setup. Everything is basically AI driven. If I so for example now, I don't know if you guys granted permission to my stuff. On my call, I have a Phantom meeting note, a Phantom note taker. It not only records the meeting, it records the meeting, saves it as a video, converts it into transcript, gives me a summary. I put that summary, especially if it's a meeting with a partner, I put it into my AI. It extracts all of these things, create a tracking sheet. See, anyway, I don't need to I just feel I want to make sure I get you to a point where you get to that point where you make that decision that you're no longer going to just be working manually anymore. You're going to switch into that age of AI. But these are some of the key things that these popular people said. Sundar Pichai, CEO of Alphabet and Google, AI is one of the most important things humanity is working on. It is more profound than electricity or fire, right? Andrew Ng, some of you who are doing ML courses, you will know Andrew Ng is one of the most popular teachers of AI in the world. It says AI is the new electricity. Just as electricity transformed everything 100 years ago, today I have a hard time thinking of an industry that AI will not transform. Right? The rise of powerful AI will be either the best or the worst thing ever to happen to humanity. We do not know. We do not know yet. Know which. So very interesting stuff there. And the African Union, as I said, Africa cannot afford to be a passive consumer of AI. We must build, govern, and apply it for our own development. Okay. So I hope that you're at least learning something right now. Are you guys still with me? Can I get an audio confirmation or at least a wave of hand? Are you still following? Are you learning something?
No, they won't hear
Okay.
you. They won't hear you.
Okay. Thank you, guys. I saw a few of you raise wave. Thank you. And so right now, okay. Thank you. So AI is already inside the legal profession right now, right? AI can do this. By the way, this is Goldman Sachs. It says 44% of legal tasks could be automated by current AI. And that's the highest of any white collar profession, right? Thank you. No, AI cannot do contract. I already talked about some of this already. Same thing with medicine. AI matched or beat radiologists in detecting breast cancer. I think this already happened about, like I said, I didn't even say this, like 2020, that already happened, right? And so that's 5 years ago. AI was already beating human beings, hands down. There's also diagnostic imaging, all of these things that AI can already do. So how do you work with AI? And I want to just teach you the mindset and the framework for working with it. Sorry, again, I'm already at work, so I'm getting some from work. So I apologize for that. Okay, so the mindset, number one, I don't think, and this is, we've all seen all of these things. You've heard of what we call AI slop. The way people use AI right now is very annoying. That's one of the things. That's one of the reasons why I thought we needed to train our workforce. It was like people were using AI in a terrible way, and I first feel like you need to change it. You need to change it. And it's really as I'm teaching you to use AI, I don't want you to just outsource your entire sense, your career, your thinking to AI. You need to co-pilot with it. That's why I call the entire topic co-piloting. You need to build with AI, not outsource your entire thing. So one thing that people used to do is that AI does it, you ship it. You place the assignment, copy the answer, submit, short time win, zero learning, zero credibility, possible academic misconduct. This is what a lot of people do. They just carry and copy and paste the assignment and just go and post it inside. And then you come and give the answer to the user. If I'm your lecturer, I will give you minus 20 over 100. So, like, even after your assignment, I'm going to remove the remaining mark from your from your C or your exam. That's how strict I'm going to be if I'm a lecturer with all of this. Because that's one of the dumbest way to use AI. It's a terrible way to use AI, right? Some people are off switch. They refuse to use AI at all. And that's one thing that schools are trying to force their students to say, don't use AI. Like, I feel like that's a terrible way of teaching learners. Because they are getting to an age where they need to use AI. So what better way for them to, or where's the best place for them to begin to learn to use AI? It's actually in school. You need to teach them how to use AI and not to tell them not to use it at all. I see a lot of schools say, don't use AI. I don't think that is wise. That's my own personal opinion, right? And some of these schools will feel like they are principled. They feel like they are teaching you, they are developing your brain. Well, I don't think that is smart. I think that by the time you graduate, if you don't not learn how to use AI, your peers would have done 10 times the practice and build portfolio that you cannot match anymore. So I think the schools also as well have to have a structure for teaching you how to use AI. So the best way that I believe that you need to now know how to use AI is what I call co-piloting, right? And what it means is you think first, like you drive and then AI accelerates it. So you think first, you look at the work, you think thoroughly about everything, about what you want to say, the assignments, everything, you think through it thoroughly. Then you then prompt, then you then verify every claim, and you use AI to reset your draft. So it gives you a template for at least thinking and allows you to challenge your own ideas, keeping your judgment in the loop, right? So that's the way you pilot with AI. It's not as if you just, dump everything and then copy and paste and you're not thinking through it. So for the way, for example, I use AI a lot to create concept notes, to create proposal. And if you use the same AI system I use, we will not get the same result because the AI deeply reflects my own personal core thinking, core beliefs, and core systems. It's not just giving me what it says. I use AI to research. Okay, show me, do a research, and go. And by the way, there are different platforms. There are different AI tools that work better for all of this. And one of the best AI for research, in my opinion, is Gemini, right? Because it's developed by Google and they basically own the search engine space, right? So like go make the research. And I also use AI for, I also use Gemini as well for validation of claims. When I say statistics, I want to be sure that's accurate. I trade into Gemini. I say, Gemini, confirm that this is actually true. Right. So many times I use like 3 or 4 AI systems to get one result, which is crazy. Many people just use one and just copy and paste. And that's why our level of results will, or the quality of our output or outcome will never ever be the same. Because you are not meant to autopilot, you are not meant to off switch, you are meant to actually co-pilot, right? So the rule of thumb for me is that if you cannot explain it, don't submit it, right? Let AI draft, you decide. So you put all of the systems there. Like I mentioned, you think first. You then think about your prompt delicately. You verify everything. You can use AI to do the research and then draw out the insights from that research to actually create whatever you want to create. And you need to also be able to challenge your ideas. So when you're thinking, oh, can I scale this and this? I ask the AI, it says, oh, boy, from history, only this company has been able to do it, and this is how they do it. So that's where I can begin to refine, my ideas and my thoughts. And I believe that I we should use AI and not just, the slow. And what are the practical ways that you can begin to use it? I need to start wrapping up right now. I think number one way, and I created again, I even created I don't know if I'll be able to touch it. I created like a mini demo, but I don't think looking at the time I have a hard stop by 10:30. So okay, let's wrap up. We can go. I'm trying to see how many slides I have left. Okay, I have to rush through this. Okay. So one way to start doing is number one, pick one tool, get fluent with it. Use it for things you already do. Verify everything, build one specific product. One way to begin to learn how to use AI. I remember I have 2 websites that I've developed personally now with AI. Very interesting. I just like put all of my concept notes inside of it, describe it, put it on. First, I was using Manus. Now I'm going to switch into into Claude Cowork. But those 2 tools are amazing tools for it, and it like basically hosted everything. I just copied out the code and hosted it on a different server. So these are interesting ways to to practical steps. Pick one tool. One way I will always ask you guys: start with one tool. Don't try to know everything at once. So you can use Claude AI, ChatGPT, Gemini, or Perplexity. And interesting thing, there are many courses out there. Figure out within 2 weeks you can master these tools. You can, and then use them daily. Use them daily. Practice with it. Use it for things you already do, right? So maybe it's lecture notes. You can for essays, for generating flashcards. One of the interesting things I'm going to use it now is ready for my study to use these things to generate. I don't know if you guys know what they call flashcards. That is like a study tool where you like summarize some points, on when we were at school, we call it like a microfiche or something like that. That's the, I don't know if people still use that term, where you summarize almost all of your notes in one stuff. So once you see that flashcard or that microfiche, it brings about all of the memory of the things that you've read around that context. So I don't know if you're not using AI for study. There's even this tool. What's it now? I use it for. Oh my goodness. Why is it escaping my mind? And I use it every day. I use it for my book reviews, basically. It allows you to summarize all of the book and then dig out the interesting points like you use as conversation prompts. Very, very interesting tools nowadays. So anybody that is studying, I don't know why you're not using AI to study. Like upload your AI notes, your notes into AI. It allows you to even give you quizzes on it. You can know how far you learned. You can even, I don't know if I should be doing this. If your school in your school does past questions, right? Get all of the past questions, put your concept notes, tell AI and say, based on the turn of these past questions and all of these concept notes, share and create a demo exam based on this and predict what kind of questions like these lecturers can answer can give based on past way of thinking about questions. You'll be surprised that if you use AI to do, you can probably get up to 60% prediction and like correctly without you asking for the Holy Spirit for. Because I remember I used to do that stuff in school when I was like, Holy Spirit, where will the question come from right now? So and I will pray. And sometimes, interestingly enough, God actually answered. Especially there's one time of reading I was watching movies. Now I had 6 hours to the exam. Again, I don't do this. God actually showed me mercy. Then I realized that I had the exam I had to cry to God and say, Lord, please forgive me. I will never do this again. But please, Lord, I only have about 7 hours to my exam. Please, guide my reading and show me where the answers, where the questions are going to come from. And funny enough, God had mercy. I should be almost like 70% of all of the questions will come from. That's exactly where I read. And I think AI can simply do the same for you as well. I'm not saying that you should discard your Spirit. I'm saying that you can also feed in all of this stuff into that and then use that as well to figure out where the potential questions might come from. I'm not sure if Dr. Mustafa will be happy with what I just said. But again, it's an interesting thing to share. Right. So there's also verify everything, build a specific model. I used to try to push the limit. My colleague right now is on the call. I call it AI native because it's almost what it does with AI is always very hilarious to me. Sometimes I feel like you can literally ask AI to go and find him a wife. That's the level. Like I call him an AI native because basically it pushes the most ambitious projects, to AI to try and go out for him. And interestingly enough, I feel like that's the best way to use AI. Like think about the biggest thing that you can ask AI to and try and test it. If AI cannot do it, you think you cannot do it. Right? But what's the best way to find the limit of AI than to actually put it on AI? One would have tested the limit of AI recently. So I've asked AI to analyze it. I plumped all the data into it and say, you know what, give me the insights and create a slide. And to my shock, when I presented it to my people, they were like, hey, this is really beautiful. I was looking at them and smiling because I know between myself and my AI, we know that it was AI that did it, right? I kind of refined it and kind of like, okay, say, okay, no, remove this is useless, this is this, classify. That's why you need to think through this, right? But when I showed you that I became a superstar at work, well, it was AI, simply AI. And I feel like that's the difference between people that use AI and people who do not use AI, right? So show your work publicly as well, build. That's what I want to start doing to now moving forward. So this was a demo I created. I'm going to skip through this, but I think I'm going to share this slide so you can actually go through these steps. I put the prompts there as well. So you can use this. I'm a 200 level student at Anchor University. So you could either use Claude or ChatGPT for this, whatever works for you. And then it just shows you how to work through this. So set context, ask refine. That's a great way to begin to do these things. I wish I had more time. It's like even the major, because what I've done so far is to give you motivation to use AI. This is actually practical ways to use AI. But unfortunately, I'm looking at my time now. I do not have that much time, but I will give you the slides, I promise, so you can go through this. These are like exact prompts you can put into AI that allows you, to fit into. For example, I tell people like, I don't know why I do not have. Like what I do basically is that I have a learning plan, and that learning plan was not generated by my own intelligence. So I put everything. This is what I want to be in the next 2 years. This is what I want to be in the next 3 years. It's kind of the publicly available courses, especially the ones that are free, and create a learning plan for me. So you create it. You even create curriculum. We were working with the company. We still work with the company at Trinity called Compass AI. Amazing platform. Brilliant platform, and it was developed by a Nigerian. Amazing, sweet platform. What it does basically is that you put into the platform and says, I want to learn, let's say I want to learn data analytics, right? Create a curriculum and content for me. So that AI system will go online, scan all the YouTube videos in this world and everything around that. So create a curriculum for you and create a content. So you just need to be clicking on the stuff, read the text, watch the videos, and you are done learning how to use learning data analytics, right? Completely for free. I think Compass AI is now paid, but that's a plan. I'm sure that um um I'm sure that co-work will be able to do that at a certain level. So you now have this tool in your hands by which you could do anything. You can learn, you can know, okay, what will it take me to become program director by the next 4 years, create a learning plan for me month on month. You can do that with AI now. Why people are not doing it, why they are confused about their careers, I still do not know, right? So I feel like you can now begin to work. I'm already doing it, so I don't know why other people are not doing it. I also created a plan, by the way, for your AI fluency. I think you start with foundation, so use master 1, 2 could be cloud or GPT, build one short paper per week. Those are the key things that you can do. By the time you finish this 90-day plan, it would be a really, and again, I'm going to share the slides so you can try it, right? So for those in the legal field, for example, right, pick 3 tools used in law. There are many interesting tools that you can use. And I think every law person should start using those tools, right? Build a prompt library of 20 reusable prompts, right? Shadow interview to professionals using AI in their field. I write a one-page LinkedIn post on what you've learned. The same thing in production. Build one product or project So it could be an app, it could be a paper, it could be a story too, it could be a case digest, published on LinkedIn. Instead of just posting weird stuff on your socials, these are the things you should be posting, right? Apply for 3 internships or fellowships using or grants citing it, and then teach a younger student. By the way, that's some of these things are some of my cheat code basically. The way I got this, let me leave it. I wanted to share some real life real life stories with you, but again, and I'm sorry that I'm rushing, but again, I hope that once you get this live, all of these things I've shared will make more sense to you as you go through them. Right, so these are interesting. Again, one of the 90-day plan I've created. Some of them might not be particularly to your context, so you feel free to discard what works or what doesn't work. Because people works for you and discard what doesn't work for you. But again, these are some of the things I feel like I can do in terms of plan. So I'll give one for the foundation and I'll be separated everything for body medical field, and so I can put some tools I can use. So there's open evidence, for example, class and health bridge. That's for the medical field. So that for the blood flows, there is Lexiclos AI, there's case studies, there's academic piece. When I write these tools down, what's exploded? Right? What's exploded? What can I do? What's possible right now? Right? So you can have all of that there as well. And there's this project called Humanities. I reached out from my team, and I showed them, so I asked them to do something, they come back and they do not so great a job. And I tried, I did do it, and I sent them the prompt example that I used in Unity. I tell them to do series. So every time I give you another work like this is the thing that we use. We call it prompt like, right? Reusable prompts that you can always use to generate the same level of quality of work within them, right? So I think you should start creating my side creating for my team and I realized that they only have access to AI, they still show the jobs, right? So that's a key thing about doing that as well. Moving on, so these are all of the other things that you can start from the 90-day plan. And the idea is about the 90-day plan should be able to curate the portfolio of the things we've done with AI, whether you're trying to solve problems, or you're trying to rely on all those things. So please go through them once you get the slides. Having said that, this is also my colleagues on the call is interesting that it's on this call. Yeah, I think that AI cannot do. AI is not good. It's important for you to know that. But there are some people that also assume that AI can do everything. You get that the last one they call right now. There's nothing because AI can do it. AI cannot do it. And you need to be very, very careful. Yeah, to do. You don't disclose all of your life things into AI. Number one, AI, and that's I feel like they're supposed to be very, very careful. So you don't put your problem in there. And that's why you see even as you use this always do disclaimers. AI can be wrong, and it's important. You don't want to put yourself in stuff. I use AI recently, and yes, I was hallucinating and giving me statistics that don't exist anywhere. So I put that anywhere that I'm not somewhere that does AI stuff, so I push AI stuff in there. I hate AI stuff in this point. And what I mean by AI stuff is rubbish related AI, I don't know what to verify. You just give it to me. You give me truth. You should have listened and does not make anybody upset. So I was doing I had a first small time, I had this event and I did not do the hotel renovation. I was going to invite them. So wanted to release a show website where they could see everything that we've been doing so far. Now I've taken in regards to other scholar words. So I used AI to generate content. And before I put it, I could help me verify because yeah, I already designed the website, everything. It was looking really good, right? But again, I've learned never to be carried by tools. So I went and checked some of the statistics. And once you realize that it was saying nonsense, like there was no proof of that. I was probably hallucination. What it is that AI can invent cases, can invent expectations, can invent diagnosis and statistics confidently. And so some of those things are wrong. So if one prescribe drug to somebody you're using AI, you can easily kill them. And you're going to go to jail. And you cannot say it's AI, it's blood that will bring to say that. You have to go to jail, they will not through inside prison, and that's the end. So you have to be very careful. That's why I say you have to be very careful not to deceive of AI. AI can hallucinate, right? So, and that your career and efficiency, you're not careful. So always verify against the primary sources. But also private and privacy and confidentiality as well. Try not to post real client files and records. I think in this case for me, I don't know if I have necessary privacy anymore. I think there's many things there. But again, for lawyers, medical advice is not advice. So you can what we call abstraction, abstract a little bit and get the insights so that AI can help. But you cannot put some of those details into AI. So you can maintain at least maintain privacy and confidentiality. Also be careful that because AI also is biased and sometimes they're biased. Because most of the AI, what most of the AI signals are currently training on Western data. So sometimes they don't have the African context. That you have to be very, very careful. There's also plagiarism. That's why in some academic settings, they ban the use of AI in research. Because AI does based on all the public are doing research, you can get that and if you don't properly reference it, it can lead to those problems, that's why many research organizations still ban the use of AI to a degree. That's the you can use AI for research to read, to understand, but you cannot use it in the actual writing, right? So you see a lot of people again, that need mechanism and all of this can affect your academic integrity. So if AI does all your thing, then this is what we call skill access. It's something we're going to see now. I also see that my work and I'm fighting hard against it. So what does that mean? If AI does all your thinking gets better. These are going to think. You keep doing that, you keep doing that by hand sometimes. So you need people to still be able to retain their thinking and not associate their life and their thinking to AI. And then it's also not overtrust AI. AI can sound very confident even when it is wrong. So be very, very careful. Treat AI as a draft and not the verdict. It's really, really important. So I put some of the standard tips, some of the things and go research. But when I was talking, when I was working with data science, I was working with these guys, probably data science Nigerians, and getting these guys talk about a very interesting content. So right now you have don't talk about general AI assistant, explore the certificate, the Gemini, capacity, the CoPilot. Now personal best tool right now is Claude. I didn't know it would pronounce. Sorry that there's also malfunctioning. So two of my best tools ever right now that I'm involved with, they're still expensive. So okay. So I spent a lot of my money on AI tools. It's you have to support for sometimes. It's cool. Cool and banks are fantastic actually very great. So right now, maybe in the next few months it may change, but right now I love for work and I love my AI. Absolute freedom generally and assistance. But no less Athletics, Lost AI, which again, Apex, Long Drive, Square Book, and there's an idea of people not having interesting content as well. For let's there's open evidence, there's blast health, agree with all those guys. And for lawyers, I just put some of those things. So after I committee, the biggest AI committee right now is that side Nigeria. I worked with them in the past. We're still going to do some of the AI things there. We're still putting data, there's much scanning, there's a lot of AI. I think we also join computers so we can learn and make practice these things. Like there's also things like flex the way like I read these guys, I stay on them. There's Anthropic newsletter, things like write a lot of things around where where they're coming from, that's my own normal set of things I have to do on it. So I forgot what I do. I just always keep my eye on what's the future of job, does it look like when they're actually training people for the future of job, not for the past of jobs. It's also Android. Android is one of the best ever AI, so like you learn to and also use. And I think the fastest part of global career, honestly, is the one that starts without prompts today. So I don't think you need any permission. You don't even need one. Some of them are free, so you also like 30 minutes a day for 90 days and encourage to start. So that's the way I have kind of, I mean, again, this is my entire slides. You have an AI tool, doing like tools that you use. You have a demo that videos, you can go check it out. And also the 90 days plan you can also use to learn. And I always like to end up with this idea. Best event you ever make it yourself to learn. Make sure you get out of the tools, add that number, it's going to be very clear and it's important. Build yourself, and thank you so much for listening. I have 7 minutes to take questions. If you have questions, happy to take them and again connect with me as well if you need to on all of the social platforms. So I'm going to be happy to take questions right now. That's 7 minutes before I disappear. I'm joining on everything, but please write your questions if you have any. If you learn something today, you can like I want to do some stuff about that. Yes, and please learn something. So
Thank you so much.
questions if you have any.
Can you hear me? Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Hamzat. Let's clap for Mr. Hamzat for the very insightful presentation. It was really, really wonderful. Hope you gained a lot from today. Okay, so who has questions? Questions for Mr. Hamzat. Everyone will have a question. What's in your mind? AI, how to use AI. Any questions? If you are shy, you can write it. I'll read it for you. If you can stand up. But any questions? Ask, 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 ask. One time opportunity, you ask, what's in your mind? What are you thinking about? How can it affect you? What do you think? You have a question. Okay, thank you so much.
Okay, so good afternoon, everybody. Yeah, so a lot of students, right? And we use different sites for case summaries, right? So sites like Lock Here and Law Pavilion, when you want to like check the narration of cases, they're usually very long because they take from mostly weekly reports, Nigerian weekly reports. But if you want to use AI shortens it, and sometimes the judgment is not correct. So I want an advice on that area.
Did you get that? So did you get? Can you hear? Go on. Okay, so okay, that's one question. So any other person? Okay, the next question.